Welcome everybody for webinar number 3 on SAP PLM formulation. This is obviously the third webinar in our Process PLM. Just a little housekeeping before we kick off the presentation with Inge-Marie and Natalia in a couple minutes. There is a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen if you have any questions throughout the webinar, and we'll answer them at the end. And then for those of you that haven't participated in the previous webinars, we will be supplying you both with the presentation and a link to the recording to review at your leisure. And that typically that link to that collateral comes out at the end of the week, either Friday or early next week. So stand by as we let the rest of the customers and people join from the lobby, and we appreciate your time. For those of you that are joining from Europe, welcome, good afternoon. For those of you in the United States, good morning. I'm Lars Olsen. I'm based on the West Coast, so it's fairly early for me, but it's always good to start my day with the great content we have here for you. For those that you don't know, we'll get into it, but Inge-Marie is joining us from SAP. So we're very, very happy to have her on board today. So this is a very well welcome to Inge-Marie and obviously Natalia. Both of them are product managers for SAP PLM formulation. And again, my name is Lars Olsen. I'm a senior client partner at LeverX. As I stated earlier, this is the third webinar, and we're going to have a really jam-packed agenda today with an introduction around LeverX and our partnership with SAP. We're going to talk about SAP Product Lifecycle Management, or Inge-Marie will. We'll then get into the PLM formulation roadmap, looking forward about some of the new capabilities that are being added by every month and on a quarterly and throughout the year. So the product continuously to get more and more capabilities, which is awesome. And then we'll have a really in-depth demonstration by Natalia around formulation, and then a little bit about the formulation customer journey, how you can engage, license the solution, the value and benefits of obviously SAP PLM formulation. And then at the end of the webinar, we'll talk again, we'll have a little poll there for a couple questions, and then we'll get into the Q&A session. Next slide, please. So a little bit about LeverX. Obviously, we're a global systems integrator for SAP for over 21 years. That's what we're primarily known for. But we're a global company in 9 countries, obviously 14 offices, 1,600 employees and such. We're really proud to be not only a global strategic supplier, but also a gold partner for SAP. So primarily, we are an SAP shop through and through. But we also have a different line of business called Emerline, which basically does development and engages with customers that may be on different platforms other than SAP, such as Google Cloud, AWS, Microsoft. And all of our engagements with our customers are obviously ISO standard kind of best practices there. You should also note that we're also a design thinking shop, so to speak. We've been trained by SAP specifically in the App House network. So if you want to conduct a design thinking workshop, we're certified to do that as well. So next slide, please. We want to talk a little bit about LeverEdge. It's coming up. Last year was our 20-year anniversary where we celebrated in Miami. It was an awesome event. It's the first time I was able to attend and be a presenter there. But this year, we've really expanded the content around business AI. Obviously, we're covering digital supply chain, intelligent spend, and logistics. A big topic for a lot of our customers today is around data migration with the transformation for our customers from ECC to S4. There's a lot of data migration that we cover. And of course, S/4HANA, Rise and Grow, depending on which cloud strategy you want to go there. But really important within this event is we're actually having a SAP PLM forum. So we're specifically have what we call the yellow stage track, where we're going to be covering both discrete and process PLM there. So I encourage you to registrate. Go to the registration page there using the QR code. You can sign up. It's an awesome event. And we hope to see you there in Miami in 3 weeks or so. Next slide, please. So this is kind of the final slide in regards to around LeverX. Again, we're an SAP Gold partner and a global strategic supplier, but we're not just a systems integrator. We're a sell solution, both from a partner edge, sell partner in global and select global regions. That means we can resell licenses for SAP. We're really proud to now be a ongoing co-innovation partner with SAP. What that means is we actually develop the software. So SAP PLM Formulation is one of the co-innovation solutions that we've developed with SAP. Obviously, we have our own PLM suite of solutions that we're a build partner. And last but not least, what we're really well known for globally is around our SI line of business about implementing licenses from SAP strategically there. So with that, next slide. And at this point, I would like to hand it over to Inge-Marie so she can introduce herself, and it's a warm welcome from our SAP colleagues to talk a little bit about SAP Product Lifecycle Management.
Okay, thank you very much, Lars. Yes, so my name is Inge-Marie Lannerhagen, and I'm a product manager for this formulation solution on the SAP side. Now with SAP side since 13 years, so I'm getting warm in my clothes here regarding SAP. So let's talk a little bit about product lifecycle management, PLM. In some companies, sometimes it happens that PLM might not get the attention that it deserves, but PLM is and remains of strategic importance for our customers. It forms the backbone for managing product life cycles efficiently. SAP PLM is not just about managing product data. It provides the product master data backbone, which is essential for a digital transformation of any company. And this centralizes your product information, enabling you to connect and streamline all stages of the product lifecycle. And in addition, SAP PLM offers an integrated collaboration environment, empowering teams to work together seamlessly to develop innovative and sustainable products. And this ensures that your product development processes are not only efficient, but also aligned with modern sustainability goals, which of course is increasingly critical in today's market. And going a little bit more into the details here, in the area of PLM and everywhere, there are challenges. And when we speak to our customers, we discuss some of the challenges that we have listed here. So let's start about the scaling the business. So any company, of course, wants to grow and earn more money and scale. And in today's complex environment, it's not very easy. We have multiple product families, we have target markets with different requirements, and below the line, as I mentioned, we have a big complexity. And companies need to get the support of processes and applications to handle this kind of complexity. Also, another challenge that we talk to our customers about is to reduce costs. We know costs have been increasing substantially in the last couple of years, and it's very important to have these costs under control. We also know that the main portion of costs for products, they are defined in the very early parts of the product development process, in the define phase. So that's why it's so important to keep track of the costs already when you start to develop and design the product. Connected also to the complex environment, today it's not possible to create and develop a new product just by your own in your own company. It's needed to have a teamwork. You have to work with different departments within your own company. You have to work and you want to work with external parties like customers, suppliers, different government agencies. And to be able to do that in a good and efficient way, you also need an accountable, convenient, and efficient working environment and collaboration possibilities. And the last challenge that we have listed on this slide is the need for high data quality. We know that if you don't have that, there are all kinds of risks and dangers connected with that. And they can cause financial losses, brand image losses, and also if you don't have consistent and one source of truth regarding your data, you might not adhere to various compliance regulations, which is of course extremely critical. So there are a number of challenges out there in our everyday world in the market today. And to be able to cope with that, we have developed a whole suite of different applications covering all three stages when you develop and deliver products, the define, develop, and deliver stages. And I just want to go through that briefly before we come into the more detailed information about our new formulation solution. And here you see our suite of applications, and we see them being part of a system, of a suite, of a closed loop functionality. And if we start in the top left corner, we have application to collect ideas and process these ideas. So it's possible to pick out the ideas with the highest probability of, in the end, being productized and then support achieving your goals. On the way to a ready product, of course, we need to manage the requirements. We then have to specify the product that we want to produce and develop. And in the area of process industries, we want to formulate our product. There we have our formulation application, of course, that we talk about today. And that's very tightly connected, built on the specification management application that we also have in our suite. Moving further in our development cycle, we need to take care of packaging, design and also artwork. For that, we also use our specification management application. And we also have a solution in the SAP area for sustainability and compliance checks. And all of this, we have to do reporting on it, and we also need to be able to collaborate on that. And for that, we also have an application in our PLM area called PLM Collaboration to be able to collaborate on, for example, recipes or specifications. Going towards more of the market. Oh, I'm not done yet. No worries. We also have, we need to do labeling, of course, of our products. Here we have at SAP an internal labeling solution that might more be directed towards the chemical industry. For the food and beverage industries, we have, I think, Dave, you're maybe not, oh, thank you, Dave. We have a third-party solution that works very well with our solutions as well. In the end, we need to, of course, hand over to a manufacturing site to produce the products. And when they're on the market, we need to have control over the changes that are happening in the product. And as I said, for all of this, we have a suite at SAP. Finally, I just want to mention AI. It's, for some, it's a buzzword. For us, it's a possibility to really make the best out of our applications and really enhance what you get out of the application, out of the work that you do. We have already AI in some of our applications here. For example, in our idea management application, we already have some AI features, and for others of our applications, we have deep discussions also with our customers, and also some proof of concept projects that are ongoing. So stay tuned. We will deliver quite a few AI-enabled capabilities in the course of time here. And with that, I hand over to Natalia for some more information and deep dive on our formulation solution.
Thanks, Ingmar. I was very anxious to start, so I involuntarily changed the slides. Hi, everyone. My name is Natalia Arkhipova. I am product manager at LeverX for formulation product. I've been I'm still a lead PLM consultant for process industries at LeverX as well. So this product is very dear to me personally, and also it kind of follows very well my career path as well. In the past couple years, the team, since we started development, we were able to create a very good minimum market entry scope product that was released in June of 2024, and at this with that minimum market entry scope, you already can create recipes. You can create edit delete recipes and also change formula in it. We have the most important calculations in it that are needed for any process industry. We can calculate ingredients, compositions, allergens, and nutrients if it's a food industry. We have consistency checks. We have integration with some of the other capabilities, for example, collaboration. So you can now create this collaborative environment to work with your colleagues on new product introduction or change of the existing product. And we also already after market entry scope, we had also already a couple of releases, and one of the key achievements that we were able to do, we released internal APIs for recipe create, change, and read. Internal means that if you have a partner who has access to SAP system, has a C user, with those partners, you can use those internal APIs in order to do data migration or send information from the formulation product elsewhere. And this was very important to enable new customers or existing customers to use our product in the future. We will go public APIs a little bit later once the data model is stabilized, but this was a huge thing that we have. And we are not stopping at all. We have now a continuous feature delivery process, which means that we have ability to release a new feature every month if it's ready and tested properly. And we have a very ambitious plans for 2025 and 2026. We will start our year with finalizing the whole end-to-end process for product development, with the last point, which is integration with intelligent handover, which means that we will be able to create bills of material from the recipe formula. And we will extend our calculations to fill even more use cases. We are going to integrate with PLM change management to allow the more robust and the more guided process of how products can be introduced or changed. AI features, as Ingmar mentioned, and also some of the features that have been asked by customers that we've been already in conversations regarding our product is recipe comparison, mass change of recipes, and additional calculations. This is the key features that we have, like big names, but obviously also there is a lot of work going on internally to refactor and improve features that we already delivered based on the feedbacks that we received from various channels. And also not only have features that are already known for EPF for recipe development users, but also invent new features that are also of high importance, but haven't been done in recipe development before. So I just want to highlight the goal of our product was not just copy-paste recipe development as for a recipe development product, but takes the best from that product and improve it based on the latest information and challenges and technologies that available on the market. What I also want to mention, this is the slide, but you can always, this information is available in SAP Roadmap portal. You can use this link, and it's already pre-filtered for specification management and formulation capabilities. And whenever we make a change to our roadmap or add a new feature, it's all will be updated here as well. So the information is public, but again, certain things, the more future it is, there is more chances something will be changed based again on the feedback that we receive from our customers or from the external world as well. Now, I will move to the demonstration portion of our session today. And what I would like to show you today is a pretty standard process in the day of life of product developer. When, for example, there is a need to create a new product, and we already have a template product or a base product in our system. So instead of creating a completely brand new recipe, a product developer will go find this existing product recipe, copy it over, make certain changes to the formula, review the calculations, make sure it looks the way it will be passed by regulatory. Also, during the working on this recipe, it is also product developer will add the recipe to the existing collaboration in order to involve other colleagues, for example, send a workflow task to the people in the regulatory for the approval, or people in the marketing to make sure that certain information is fulfilled on their side if needed or validated. And so on. Once the recipe is ready and all the calculations and things are checked, product developer also has ability to perform recipe consistency checks. So this is some built-in checks that we already implemented, but we also will keep adding as we progress. Some of the checks, like if you use specification that is in the proper status, it shouldn't be obsoleted, or for example, if a product master, material master is assigned to your specification, and so on. Product developer also can upload the documents and will upload the document to our recipe. And at the end, this is our last stop of the end-to-end process that we have currently, is to transfer all the calculated product data from the recipe to the primary output specification, and which will allow for downstream processes, for example, labeling, compliance checks, and so on, to consume this product data and do further analysis. Now, let's go to this system. And okay, I will just refresh in case it was idle for quite some time. Okay, so I am in Fiori Launchpad screen, and we, based on the role that is, based on the business roles that are assigned to each user, each user will see different set of tiles. In my case, I have an admin role or a super user role, so I can see all of them. But in the real world, IT administrators or SAP consultants will see predominantly configuration applications, and business users will see the business application. So we have one business application right now to manage recipes, and this is a one-stop shop for the product developer to go and interact with the recipes. And for IT administrator, right now we have this 5 applications that allows IT administrator to set up statuses and status schemas, configure recipe types, configure calculations. So that's where you can say that you want ingredient composition, allergen, nutrient calculation, or hide something from the screen. And then we have also a new application. It's a brand new application where we allow our users to configure what component types in the recipe should be used as input-output. I'll show you a little bit later. And also in the future, we will allow here to control what component types should be included in calculation of the product data or excluded. And this is a highly used feature in the recipe development, as we know by our current customers. And we are making sure this flexibility is also available in the future in our product as well. So coming back to the demo flow, product developer got a product brief that we need to introduce a new scent for an existing product. In our case, it's a vegan hand soap. And instead of having like a base vegan hand soap, we need to introduce a lavender scent soap. And in order to start this work, product developer will navigate to manage recipes application. Here we have ability to search for existing recipes. And as you can see, there's a lot of filters available, but also you can adapt screen and add more or remove unnecessary screens. What's very cool in Fiori in the new world is each application will have this Google-like search, which you can type anything on this. You can type some word or parameter on the screen, and it will do analysis across all the data that is available on the screen. And if it will find word vegan anywhere in these columns, it will show you all of the relevant records, so you can search for your data very quickly. If you want more precise results, obviously go to the filters and set up what is interesting for you. As I said, this application is one-stop shop. So from here, you can create a new recipe. You can select an existing recipe and copy it, or you can delete a recipe. With deletion, we put a restriction if your status has a certain attribute that allows deletion, only then you can delete this data. This is done in order to avoid any mistakes and data inconsistency if someone accidentally clicks button delete and removes a very important product data. Our product developer now goes to this system. If he needs to find a recipe, he will do it. In my case, it's up in my results list. So I will select this recipe and click button copy from the screen. System asks us what recipe type should we use for the new recipe. In my case, I want to keep it. I don't want to change it, so I'll just keep it, click copy. And at this point, system copies over all of the information from the source recipe. Now we need to change the names real quick. So I will do lavender. And at this point, there's also a couple scenarios. If oh, you know what? I will start over because I forgot to create a primary output specification as part of this demo. So let me discard my recipe and also demonstrate you that I can discard the recipe objects and come back to the specs management application, because in order to create a new product, I also need a new primary output specification because they are separate. So I'll go to manage specification application, and you had a very detailed demo in the previous session. Here, I'll select vegan hand soap, our default specification, click button, copy, and create a new primary output specification for my demo. There, okay. And I will change the name. Now we're good. I'm copying it over. What I also need to do is I will go ahead and assign product that I created beforehand for this demo. This is the product that I have. And no, that's not the one. This is the one. And I will save my recipe now. Okay, we're good now. So I have primary output specification. I created it as a copy. Now I will go back to the recipe application and do the steps that you've seen already, but it's good to repeat it. So manage recipes. find a source recipe or template recipe and copy it. Now I copied it over. I will also change my name to Lavender. And because it's completely new product, I will obviously replace the specification to the one that I just created. So, yes, that's the one. And system also automatically replaces the product as well, because it is assigned to my primary output specification. And I will save my recipe right now. What we have in our recipe object as information. First of all, we have some generic information that is needed to identify the object. The name, the ID, which is internally generated by the system, so system generates it. The recipe type helps you to control configuration parameters for your recipes based on the business purposes. For example, if you have multiple divisions in your company, each division can have slightly different requirements. For example, if for the beverages, you would need certain default specification types or certain calculations. And then if you have manufacturing of baked goods, you can have slightly different requirements. So it allows you to have this flexibility to configure the system based on the needs. We have the status, which helps to control the status lifecycle of the recipe. And it is, again, configured. So the name, the status schema, how statuses flow, and what attributes are connected to each status. For example, if in this status you can edit data, or if this status you need to perform a certain consistency check, all of this is controlled in status management. Our recipes, similar to the recipe development solution, allow to create recipe families, let's put it this way. When for one product, I can create, for example, multiple alternatives. It's still the same product, but each recipe alternative allows me to describe a slightly different formula or process instructions for this product. Usually it is needed if I have, in each plant, I have slightly different configuration of equipment, or maybe the supply chain is different in each region. So somewhere I can source this raw material and somewhere I cannot source it. But at the end, by chemical and physical properties, we still produce with all of these alternatives the same product. And each alternative can and will have versions, and versions are used to describe and preserve historical development and changes of the product. And with that, I can always trace back how my recipe looked like 1 year ago versus today, and compare it to make sure, and compare it to, in order to do any analysis that is required. We have also this new facet, and because I created a completely new recipe, it's empty. But if I will start creating new alternatives, actually, let me create it right now. So it's, for example, I immediately know that I need alternative 2 for the same product. So I will do it here. So here's my alternative 2. And now in the facet, other alternatives and versions, I can see the recipe of alternative 1. I can navigate between all of these 2 recipes. And also I will see here versions of these alternatives that that exist. And it allows you to have an overview of all of the recipes that are connected to your product in one place. Obviously, you can do it by using search capabilities, but here it's handy, and also you can navigate from one to another. So this is interactive in this way. Now I will come back to my recipe alternative 01. And I copied over existing formula. I'll stop over here as well. We have a different, we have a more user-friendly UI and interactive way how you can maintain the formula. This is how it looks like in edit mode. In display mode. Everything that is blue is a hyperlink, and you can navigate to the relevant object. For example, distilled water is a specification, and from here I can, if I click, I'll go to the specification management application, and can right away review this specification and check the properties. I'll go back now to come back to my recipe. And similar, I can click on the product and go to the product master to check relevant data. And I'll just also do a disclaimer. Product is what in the old SAP world we call material master. So it is still, as for product, it is still what we maintain in MM01, 02, 03 transactions. So it's just now called product in S4 and also in the cloud. We have, so in my case, this recipe has 3 stages. And each stage has raw materials with quantity, unit of measurement, and component type, which describes what role, what functional role this input item or output item plays in the recipe. And examples can be here that we can say that a certain element is just for packaging reasons, or a certain element as a reaction item. And with that also control how system behaves, performs calculations, or does or any logic that it is developed for these purposes. Let me make it bigger. I have 3 stages, and then at the end, both stages are flowing inside of my last stage, final mixing with some of the additional raw materials, and my primary output product. It's marked here with an orange icon, lavender hand soap with total quantity 1,000 kilograms. Now I will go and edit my formula because I need to switch from lemon oil specification to the lavender essential oil. So I will remove this item by just clicking on the checkbox and clicking button remove here on the top of the screen. And now in order to edit, I will select the stage where I would like to add a new item, click button add. In this menu here, we guide the user what he or she can do at this stage. So for example, if I have a stage, I can add input item or secondary output item. I can also do an input stream. Or I can add one more process element to describe the process even in more detailed, for example, operation. The actions that are not allowed based on the hierarchy are grayed out. So I cannot create a new stage inside of the existing stage. And also in order to create action, you first have to create operations. So those 2 actions are grayed out for me and I cannot click on them. I'll click on input and in the value help, we have ability to search for an existing specifications. Again, this search filter on top acts as a Google type of search. So I will again try to find my lavender specification with essential oil that I created, and this is the one, lavender essential oil. From here, I can already see and select the relevant specification version. In my case, there's only one specification version for each spec, but if it was a lot, I would be able to pick the last one. I can also see the status of the specification, and it will help me to decide if the spec is obsolete, I don't want to take it, and so on. What's also cool here is that now you have ability to select multiple specifications and add all of them to the formula in one click. Here in the bottom, you'll see all of the selected items. I'm not going to do it, but it was important to highlight. So I am adding my lavender essential oil. I will also make it 500 grams. Now formula is good, and I will save the recipe. We will also go ahead and add our recipe to an existing collaboration. So navigate to tab collaborations, and here click button add, search for an existing collaborations. In my case, there's only one where I'm participating, and I selected again. It's bi-directional navigation. So from the recipe, I can navigate to collaboration and do some work there, and from collaboration, I can navigate to the recipe and do a certain work there. I will also add documents. And here you have ability to do a structured way of documents, so you can create folders, for example, folder for marketing information, folder for regulatory information, or you can add URLs for the documents or any needed information data, or you can upload the document from your computer. In my case, I have a safety data sheet already prepared, and I have an image that I would like to use as a thumbnail for my recipe. And thumbnail is this left corner icon here. In order to use a document as a thumbnail, here's my document. I need to generate thumbnail, and generation is accepted. And now when I will go to click on this icon to thumbnail, I can select this image and use it. So this helps. It also helps to visually identify your recipes and products in the huge amount of data when you search for a recipe or data. Now I've done these things. I maintain the formula. Important also part for me as a product developer to check calculations. What is the physical chemical data for my recipe? We have right now 4 calculations: ingredients, standard composition. We have ability to calculate allergens. And we also have ability to calculate nutrients for food and beverage industry, because right now I'm developing hand soap. There is no nutrients in hand soap, so data is not maintained for this calculation. That's why it's blank. And also a disclaimer, in the future, in the upcoming releases, we will also allow users, our customers, to add more calculations here using standard calculation engines, or remove certain calculations so they don't clutter your screen. So for example, if you work in chemical industry and don't need nutrients, you can hide it from the screen. So it's more cleaner. Now, I'm happy with my recipe. I will start process of release. Actually, I needed to do in work before, but I'm happy in work. I will send it for review to my manager or to my colleague. And when I try to release the recipe for review, system runs certain consistency checks that we implemented. And in my case, it was able to catch that, first of all, I don't have specification lavender essential oil in release status. And in order to release the recipe, all of your input specifications also should be released. So you always use the most current and actual data. And also, I forgot to assign product to my lavender essential oil specification. And this is also not good because we need this data later on. We need product assignment later on for intelligent handover and bill of material. Here it is. Yeah, product is blank. So what I will do here, I will go and fix my errors right away. Navigate to the lavender specification, go to edit mode and go to related objects and assign a product 19061. Okay, this is fixed, and now I need also to fix statuses. So I will go ahead and release my specification. All right, now I go back to the recipe. And before I will change my status again, I will just run consistency checks manually to make sure now it is good. So here we have button on the top right corner, check consistency. System still is not happy with me. It says I didn't specify the product. This is right because I didn't correct this recipe after the assignment. I didn't open it at all. So now I will go ahead and correct it, save, run consistency check again, and recipe is consistent, so I'm good to go. I will set it to review. Then recipe is being reviewed, everything is good, and I can come to the final step and release my product recipe. Now status is green and released. And last but not least step is to transfer all the calculated data here for ingredients, composition, allergens, and nutrients to my primary output specification. In order to do it, I will click button transfer to primary output in the top right corner, and in the dialog box, system suggests to us and asks me to select what calculation results do I want to transfer right now, and I can transfer all of them, or I can select which one I don't want to transfer. For the sake of experiment, I will select all of them, click button transfer. In the background, system pushes all this data to the relevant specification, primary specification. And if it's successful, I get success message. If it's not successful, system will return a meaningful message stating what didn't go well. And now I can go from the header, navigate to my primary output specification and validate the stored results. So I'll go to my properties here. I see the check mark is everywhere. So I have some results stored. And this is very quick, very high level overview of what we have. Obviously, there is much more, and devil is in details. But I will stop here. Very welcome any questions. Please post it in the chat. And yeah, thank you for attention. I will come back to the presentation. Ingmarie, please continue.
Yeah, yes. So now we know more about PLM. You know quite a lot about what our new formulation solution can do, and also what we plan for the future. So giving you a little bit of a summary and talking a little bit about how we could maybe work together. But let me first just state that Lars talked about that in the beginning. This new formulation solution was developed in a very close collaboration between SAP and LeverX. The formulation solution is an SAP product. It's not a partner product. It's not an endorsed app. It's an SAP product. And the formulation solution is our newest capability in our PLM suite. It adheres to all SAP product standards. I think we have around 220 at the moment. It adheres to all of them. It's on the, just as any SAP products, it's on the normal SAP price list. And of course, it's also subject to SAP's terms and conditions. So it's the completely normal SAP product. And if you would be interested in going along with us on this product, and you would buy it. Now we're quite a young product, so you have the huge opportunity, the huge benefit of getting an enormous amount of attention from us in the product team. And the way it could look like, we would need to, the application would need to be set up initially. Of course, it's a PLM cloud service, and this can be done by yourself or with the support of various SAP service offerings or other consultant services. Then when it's set up, you would start to consume it. You would start to simply use the application. You would create a number of specifications and a number of recipes. We would maybe recommend that now in the beginning, you would work with more simple recipes. And yes, then you would try it out. How does it work? What worked well? Do you miss any features? Where do you see improvement potential? And related to that, we would have regular calls with you in a cadence that we would decide together. You would meet with the development team, and we would answer your questions, and we would appreciate very much, as Natalia said as well, your feedback on usability, on features, on what works well, where do you see gaps. And I would like to emphasize here that this is quite a unique possibility to work directly with a product team that is really developing this product. Give us your feedback. And with that, you can influence at least two dimensions. You can influence how the features look, exactly in detail how the features should work. And you can also influence the roadmap. So that is, in which order should our new features come, and a little bit when. It's not a wish list, but you have the possibility, I would say, quite unique possibility to, as I said, work directly with the product team and influence the features and the roadmap. As we've said, this is a cloud application, and with that comes that we have updates. Currently, we have monthly incremental updates of the application. So it's not the way that you are maybe used to from on-prem applications, that you have a lot of big bang changes when you have a release and an update. We're really talking about incremental changes that we in the product team have developed in the course of a month or a couple of months. So it could be another field, it can be another button, but normally not huge changes. We will, of course, inform about these changes before they happen, and we update, of course, our product information and user guide and so on with the new features continuously. And you would get these features updated automatically in your system, and then the circle continues. So you would consume, we would have our feedback sessions, you would get new features. And I said, this is the way that we imagine that we could collaborate. But of course, there can be changes to this. This is the way we see it at the moment. And so what kind of companies, what kind of, let's say, setup do we see as sensible at the current point in time? We would appreciate very much to work with customers that are open to and also have the resources and time to collaborate with us on the further development, with the feedback, with the testing, and so on. We think it would make sense if the customer at this point in time has a limited number of recipes, also recipes that are not, let's say, too complex. As Natalia said, we can do a lot in our application already today, but we have some of the features on the roadmap that Natalia showed as well. So upcoming are features like chemical reactions or rework. So if we start with each other to work with each other now, it would make sense that maybe we don't have a lot of those kinds of recipes right now. They will come later. It would also be very good if what we do in the first, we can call it whatever we want to, pilot or initial phase, if what we learn there is scalable, so we can use it in a more global or a bigger rollout later. The whole thing, we would start with a fit gap analysis. Would be important that we have the time and resources on both sides to do that. And would also make sense that we maybe work in the beginning with a separate team or a separate division or subsidiary at the company side. And to summarize, why should you join this journey with us? It's what I mentioned already. You would have a lot of attention from the product team. You would have something that we call development angel which is your direct contact to us, would probably be Natalia or myself, or some kind of personal union of the two of us. But looking at the application, the benefits there, as Natalia showed you in the demonstration, it's a completely new cloud application, has modern look and feel. It's very easy to use. Just this morning, we were talking to one of our customer testers, and he used the word fun to describe his experience with the application, how it is to use. You saw in the demo, it's built up in a let's say comprehensive way. You have the application guides you through the steps that you can and have to make, and also, as Natalia showed, we have automatic calculations, and quite soon you will be able to change or create calculations of your own. It's not only easy to use, it's also easy to deploy, and also quite simple to configure. And you don't need necessarily a person from the IT department to do the configuration. It can be done by a power user. We also have integration between this application and other SAP processes and applications. For example, it will come manufacturing, and today we have an integration to S4 Material Master. And as we mentioned, we have a continuous feature delivery, and that means that you get small incremental changes regularly, not the big bang that we are used to. And that is also a so much softer way for our end users to learn the new features in the application. So a lot of reasons to start to use the application, and mainly to go into a dialogue with us to see how can we work together on this one.
Let's jump out to the Q&A there. I don't know, Natalia, since you still have control, maybe you can bring up, and you're still presenting, the question that Inge-Marie answered for those of you that may have not had access to it, and just maybe read it out loud and the answer, if you don't mind.
I would let Inge-Marie to read her own answers. So Inge-Marie, if you're okay.
Yeah, sure, of course. Okay, so I don't know, can you see the questions? I can just read it out loud. So
I think I share it right now on the screen. So hopefully...
No, we can't see it. So just read it out loud.
Yeah,
okay.
I will read it just out loud. So the question is, how can we deal with trial management and its relation to S4 system? So the reply that I gave is that we have on the extended roadmap an integration between PLM formulation and the SAP trial management or quality management system. And related to S4 data, we have other integrations to S4. So for example, already now, as Natalia demoed, we have an integration between the PLM formulation and the S4 product. And we can, as we said, as Natalia showed, we can integrate with the product in our formulation. And the second question is it possible to compare formulations on one screen? And the reply there is that already today it's possible to compare specifications in the specification management application, and let's say a similar feature in the recipe, the formulation solution, is on the near roadmap. So not yet, but soon.
And I think we have one more from Sharon.
Yeah,
I can answer it. So the question is, how would a pilot customer get the specifications they need to create recipes? Specification management product also has internal APIs available, and actually they are working to make it public. So, so again, you can already use it for data migration, just like you can use our formulation APIs for data migration of the recipes, or if needed, create from the scratch the specifications. So it's possible.
So we could use DataLark, for example, to migrate those recipes and specifications.
Exactly.
Correct?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. I think if there's no other questions there, next slide, please. So we can kind of wrap it up. Again, LeverX has its own set of PLM solutions. I would just mention DataLark as being a data migration tool. Many of our SAP PLM customers are using that to move from ECC to S4 and other things. We also have a workflow management with IPS, BMax for master data extension and governance, and an RQ series of solutions, which really just makes Fiori screens very easy to use, very easy to consume, and straightforward there. Next slide, please. The next time around, we're going to be talking about responsible design, as well as product packaging in our 4th webinar. We hope to see you in a couple weeks. Have a great day, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you
see
so
you again, and
much.
thanks
Thank you
again
very
for
much.
Marie and Natalia. Have a great day.
Thank you. Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.